Good afternoon. I'm David Ralston, the Speaker of the Georgia House, and I want to thank all of you for being here today for a very important announcement. I'm honored to join Governor Kemp, who will speak shortly. Let me also welcome our constitutional officers, representatives from our public safety community, many of whom are here, and my colleagues in House leadership who have joined us as well. On July 21, I spoke to our state prosecutors at their annual conference at Jekyll Island. There, I announced a $75 million proposal to bolster mental health services and provide additional resources to our law enforcement officers and to prosecutors in Georgia. This comprehensive package would add funding to our accountability courts and provide crisis beds for those dealing with mental illness. It would also expand evidence processing capabilities at the GBI and provide more personnel to combat gangs and human trafficking in Georgia. The largest line item in this proposal, $25 million of the total of $75 million, was to grant a one-time $1,000 bonus to local law enforcement officers, our police and sheriff's deputies all over this state. Our state employees and teachers received such a bonus last year. We know that it has never been harder to wear a badge, and we want to ensure that our local officers know that we appreciate their service and sacrifice. Georgia is a state that stands firmly behind those who have answered the call to serve. I want to thank Governor Kemp and his budget team for working with us to identify the funding necessary to get those bonuses to our local law enforcement officers. During the course of those conversations, though, we started asking ourselves if we couldn't do better, if we couldn't think bigger. So with that, let me introduce to you a great friend, to our public safety officers, and to all of those here at the Capitol who work with him. Governor Kemp has been with us every step of the way in honoring those who serve, and he has an exciting announcement to share. Please join me in welcoming the 83rd Governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you so much, everyone, for being with us, and thank you, Speaker Ralston, for your leadership and kind introduction. As you can well imagine, Marty and I are proud to be here with so many state and local public safety heroes, as well as many state leaders standing behind me under this gold dome who support them so much. I want to thank especially Speaker Ralston for his steadfast leadership and strong support of Georgia law enforcement and his leadership on this issue. As you all know, over the last 2.5 years, members of the House and Senate, including those with us today, have been strong partners in our combined efforts to prioritize public safety in the appropriations process and pass legislation to put the security of our communities and our families first. Marty, the girls, and I appreciate that partnership, and I'd like to thank you personally for the strong support that you have given my priorities as governor. Additionally, as we get started today, I wanted to recognize and thank a few other folks. Our Attorney General, Chris Carr, Colonel Chris Wright of the Department of Public Safety, Director Vic Reynolds of the GBI, Georgia Department of Corrections Commissioner Tim Ward, Department of Juvenile Justice Commissioner Tyrone Oliver, Department of Community Supervision Commissioner Michael Nail, Department of Natural Resources Commissioner Mark Williams, Georgia Public Safety Training Center Director Chris Wigington. I also want to thank our local leaders who are on the front lines of public safety efforts and who have traveled to be with us today for this announcement. The President of the Georgia Sheriff's Association, Andy Hester of Turner County, and I know there's many other sheriffs standing with him today in this Capitol. President of the Georgia Association of Chiefs of Police, Janet Moon from Peachtree City. President of the Georgia State Firefighters Association, Lieutenant David Bullard from Columbia County. And Chairman of the Georgia Emergency Management System Association, Chad Black of Habersham County. All in attendance today are working alongside my administration to build a safer, stronger Georgia. And I believe that we can all agree that work is needed to do that now more than ever. And our law enforcement officials and first responders have been thrown challenge after challenge in the past year and a half. Civil unrest, a spike in violent crime, as well as a global pandemic. To pile on, they've had to deal with partisan activists calling to defund police departments across the country. There is no doubt this terrible policy would only make our families and communities less safe. But this defund the police, soft on crime, demonized law enforcement agenda has also caused a crisis for our public safety officials in terms of recruitment, retention, and overall support for our men and women in uniform. This also includes our firemen and EMTs being shot or assaulted when they are going in when others are running away. Yet even in the face of these countless challenges, they and their families have continued to sacrifice and serve with honor and integrity. As long as I am governor, and as long as these members of the General Assembly here with me today continue to serve under this gold dome, we will stand with our public safety officials, period. Others may talk of defunding your departments, slashing your budgets, or vilifying your profession. Not here in Georgia. We're going to refund or fund our public safety officials and let them know that the people of this state and its leaders value them as well as their families. We're going to promote respect and gratitude for those who wear the uniform, for those who run into burning buildings, for those who respond when tragedy strikes, for those who answer the call when Georgians need help the most, for those who work in our correctional facilities, for those who work to rehabilitate nonviolent offenders, and for those who protect and serve all Georgians. Because when they walk out the door to do their jobs, they're putting it all on the line in tough conditions, and they deserve to know that we have their back. That's why today we're announcing a $1,000 pay supplement for all eligible law enforcement officials and first responders in this entire state. The state of Georgia will be creating this opportunity through federal coronavirus relief funds. The eligible categories of law enforcement officials and first responders are included but not limited to the following groups: state, local, or educational entity sworn law enforcement, criminal investigators and detectives, probation and parole officers, career firefighters, emergency medical technicians and paramedics, sheriffs and deputies, correctional and jail officers, bailiffs, fish and game wardens, and 911 communication officers or dispatchers. We are encouraging local governments and employees of public safety officials and first responders to visit the Office of Planning and Budget's Grant Funding Opportunities website for more information on how to apply to receive and distribute these funds. Applications are going to be accepted from October 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021. Please know that my office stands ready to support and assist you all however we can in the months and years ahead. Please also know that Marty, the girls, and I continue to pray for you and your families and deeply appreciate all the sacrifices that you make on a daily basis and the sacrifices that your families make as well. I'd now like to turn it over to Turner County Sheriff and President of the Georgia Sheriff's Association, Andy Hester. Sheriff.
Thank you, Governor. Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the Sheriff's Association and 159 sheriffs of this state, we thank you for putting that foot forward and giving the opportunity to these public safety officials to give them a supplement. We can't only do our job without the support of the community that we serve, can't do our job without your support, Governor and Mr. Speaker. Legislators, we need that support also. And glad that y'all put that effort forward to show that it can be done, and we look forward to more of it, finding ways to help us in our local jurisdictions. Over 20,000 employees that work for the sheriffs, deputies, jailers, and dispatchers. I speak on their behalf too. I think it's going to make a big difference in their lives. It'll give them opportunity to make it through some hard times in our local communities, and we appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Janet Moon. I'm the current president of the Georgia Association of Chiefs of Police, and I'm the proud chief of Peachtree City, Georgia. On behalf of the Georgia Association of Chiefs of Police, law enforcement, and first responders across the state, we wish to express our gratitude to Governor Kemp and Speaker Ralston for making a financial decision for this one-time supplement payment. We're fully aware this is a financial decision that you made to support law enforcement. That decision could have been made several other different ways, but you chose to support us, and we are here and eternally grateful for that. This pay supplement will allow first responders to replenish their supplies of PPE, hand sanitizers, cover costs associated with co-pays for COVID testing, pay for unexpected child care related expenses, and a host of other costs related to this pandemic. With the holidays coming up in the next couple months, this one-time payment may allow for someone receiving this funding to be the hero in their home to make that purchase they felt they maybe could not have made. There's no doubt this last 17 months have been trying for everyone in the pandemic. Many of us have experienced loved ones that have received the COVID-19, and we've seen several people in our families and throughout the state perish because of this virus. Despite whatever happens, law enforcement and first responders continue to provide the necessary services to our communities. We all know public safety is not a profession that we can work from home. We're on the front lines all the time, no matter the circumstances. And our employees do have direct one-on-one contact with the public on a daily basis. Last Friday, I reached out to Roger Parker. He's the Georgia chapter of Concerned Police Officers. He had just gotten the new stats in the line of duty deaths. There have been 33 line of duty deaths for law enforcement in the state of Georgia so far in 2021. 28 of those were COVID-19 related. Unfortunately, we're going to lose more public safety officers before the year ends, along with more citizens. Again, we are thankful for the state's leadership for recognizing this commitment to law enforcement and first responders by providing this funding and the continued support of the General Assembly. Thank you.
I'm David Bullard, President of the Georgia State Firefighter Association, and proud to represent today the approximately 24,000 firefighters in Georgia. For the 14,000 career and 10,000 volunteer firefighters in Georgia, the COVID-19 pandemic has provided challenges in shift coverage, created hurdles in delivery of fire safety education and training classes, and caused obstacles in medical responses. For the pay bonus to career firefighters, we are grateful. This helps in offsetting incurred child care costs due to working overtime and covering extra shifts, other medical isolation costs, and again for this, we're grateful. For the stipend to volunteer fire departments, we're also grateful the state of Georgia recognizes that we have a diverse state protected by both career and volunteer agencies. The volunteer firefighters in Georgia often respond from home or work, leaving their families in a state of uncertainty. For both career and volunteer firefighters in our state, the pandemic has meant extra time away from their families. Worry and loss and grief, the fear of potential exposure to their families, and the added stress of an increased patient load. In closing, I want to say it's a great day to be in public safety in Georgia.
And a lot I can say that my colleagues haven't already said. Great job. My name is Chad Black, and I am the chairman for the Georgia Emergency Medical Service Association. Also, I'm the director and fire chief for Habersham County Emergency Services. Governor Kemp, Speaker, was there. He disappeared on us. We're grateful and humbled for what you've done. It has been a tough 18 months. EMS providers, over 20,000 in Georgia on the ground picking these patients up, transporting them between hospitals, and it's been very challenging. But this is a heartfelt gesture, and I can assure you it will go a long way. I will say all of us in public safety, when you put on the uniform, you know there's a chance that when you leave home, you may not come home, especially for those that are in the field doing it every day. What we never dreamed or fathomed, though, was that there would be something out there that not only could hurt us, but we could bring home and harm our families. And that has been our biggest concern. So this will help. We're grateful. Thank you.